Hello everyone, this is In-Game Arts with another boxing of the offline product game review. This is Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered for the PlayStation 4, but being played and tested on my PlayStation 5. To jump right into it, this physical copy here comes with the update version 1.02 run on disc, but sadly there was a pretty big update. This update size was 28 gigabytes big and will take you to version 1.15 since the time of this video. Now like always, I play all my games completely offline with an unregistered account, and I didn't experience any massive game-breaking bugs or issues, and as well, I was unlocking trophies with my unregistered account. Now, but before we go into this, I am not very knowledgeable about Call of Duty games, and I don't really play a whole lot of them, so this was the first time I've actually sat down and played the entire campaign of a Call of Duty game in a very, very long time. But also I want to point out, for those who may be new at the channel, not understanding what I do here at In-Game Arts, is that we play and test games completely offline. By that meaning is that I don't do DLC, updates, microtransactions, or redeem codes. If the content cannot be played and run strictly from the cartridge or disc, then it doesn't exist. So everything you're seeing here and being played and showed in this video and any other video you see from me, it is being played completely offline with an unregistered account. That means with no updates, no connecting to the internet, no nothing. So everything you're seeing is just running off the disc. I just want to clarify this because there's a lot of misconceptions about Call of Duty games that they all require some form of internet to work. While there is a lot of newer ones require this, there is a good handful of PS4 copies that still fully have the content on disc, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered is one of those games. Now the game completely supports its campaign mode as well as single player campaign mode, as well as that it's multiplayer bot mode and stuff. There is no zombie mode or horde mode back in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, so that's a little disappointing. So you only have the two modes, campaign and multiplayer. Now sadly, multiplayer is a bit of a cut down from the original first release. From my memory, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, when it first released on previous consoles, PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, it supported 4-player split screen, while this PS4 version only supports 2-player split screen. Which, again, I'm still happy that Call of Duty still has heavily always supported split screen. It is disappointing that such older hardware was able to support 4, with this newer hardware, it only goes down to 2, so that's a little disappointing. But as I said, this has been a long time I wanted to go through this game. And the first thing I want to point out during multiplayer is that you can create your own custom game modes, where you can create your own set of weapon sets and stuff like that, and what the rules of the game and the engagement is. But weirdly enough, you can save this, but you cannot save the name. You can save all the presets, but when it pops up allowing you to customize a name for it, let's say Team Deathmatch with shotguns, this will not save. The settings will save and it'll have a default name pop up, but you cannot customize the names. Odd thing, requirement of an internet connection for that, but that's there. Now for the campaign mode, I had little to no problems. I played the majority of the game on the highest difficulty, then I decided to drop it down to the lowest difficulty because in the end I wasn't having the most fun with the campaign. Now I did enjoy some of the artistic designs and the graphical setup and some of the dialogue, but the overall pacing and setup and mechanics of the game did get a little repetitive. For one thing, your AI partners, first off, they're not very intelligent, and they do not actively pursue the mission unless you are constantly moving forward. So they will stay static until you, the player, move forward, and they basically provide no support whatsoever. I have sat there and watched them shoot a guy for a while and he would not die. I've legitimately seen somebody run right in front of them and they just shoot around him, and he'll be standing there and he'll be shooting me, but computer won't shoot them. As well as it felt very frustrating as someone who plays strategy games, let's say XCOM or any kind of RTSs or TBS games. It was a little aggravating that I had no control of my partners. I couldn't give orders or commands or ask for support or backup, so it was really frustrating in that area. Now, I don't know how the rest of the Call of Duty games are. Maybe they fixed this issue. Not entirely sure, haven't played them. And this is like been a very long time since I played a campaign, and I know this is just a remaster or remake of the original PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 game, so maybe it's got a little bit of some outdated stuff like that. But going into the campaign, again, the game ran perfectly great from beginning to end. I was still unlocking intel, unlocking the cheats and stuff like that. So overall, the campaign was all there. Now, the other thing that I felt was a little weird is that during the campaign, it seems like to be some like mechanic of endless wave mode where enemies will just keep coming and you just keep shooting at them until you kill them. The only way they stop spawning is if you keep pushing forward. So I thought that was a little odd. There were some moments in the highest difficulty I was able to bypass a lot of the harder parts of the game because I just kept moving forward, but preventing the computer from respawning so much. I thought that was a little weird in terms of how that works in the campaign. First off, I wanted to mention this. The one part I enjoyed the most in this game and playing the campaign was the loading screen. I love reading the quotes and subtitle things that would pop up giving you some quote from some leader or some information stuff like we spend $20 million to build one tank or something like that. So I thought that was very interesting. But other than campaign, playing multiplayer mode, I generally enjoy playing against bots, so that's where a lot of my enjoyment was getting from the game. After I got done with the campaign mode, I was immediately just jumping into bots. It's one of my most favorite pastime thing I like to do in Call of Duty. I don't really play a lot of Call of Duties, and that's the most thing I really do. I don't even really play too much zombie mode. I'm not the biggest in it, but I'm not saying I hate it, but I love playing against bots. That's one of my most favorite things, and I love customizing the mechanics and what computer can have, what I can have, and what the terms and the conditions of the winning and everything like that. Generally, I had a good time. I even played some split screen with my brother to try it out. No issues, no slowdown or anything like that. The game ran great at 60 frames per second, so overall, it was an overall good package to pick up. Now, granted, I don't really know what this 28 gigabyte update is doing. I'm pretty sure it's probably like DLC maps and stuff like that. You're not getting the maps. They're just, you have to pay for those maps, but most time an update will include those maps. You just gotta pay for the key to unlock that content. That's usually how updates and DLC work. So that's probably why it's 28 gigabytes, because this is Activision. They did a remaster of a classic and they didn't include all the maps. They want you to rebuy all the maps again. So that's Activision for you. But in the end, it's Call of Duty. I'm happy to have it on my shelf. I went out of my way to collect all the last Call of Duty games to have all the content on disc. In terms of you don't need to acquire internet connection to download to make it work or anything like that. I believe there's 5 of them. So I'm glad to have them all on my shelf now, and this is one of them. If you're a big fan of it, I know a lot of people are nostalgic and have fond memories of Call of Duty. I'm not really one of them. I never really played online matches, and I'm never really big into the Call of Duty campaigns and just the overall setup of it, because I'm more of a strategy person. I like ordering commands and controlling units and stuff like that. So if I'm going to play anything military, I tend to lean more into militaristic kind of stuff, like real-time strategies, turn-based strategy games, or like game like XCOM or something like that. So, like always, I will try to leave links down in the description if you're interested in copy. For the most part, it is a functional, working physical copy. It's just disappointing that it's so heavily outdated, but it still works, and that's what matters. And again, you can play completely offline, play multiplayer, play campaign. You do not need internet. You do not need to connect the internet to make this content work. So, and to me, that means it's a good physical copy to buy and collect and add it to your shelf. So, like always, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you found this video informative, and you can maybe stick around and see more videos from me. And if you're new to this channel and you disagree how we do things here about testing games offline and not connecting the internet, that is perfectly okay. This channel is just not meant for you then, and that's perfectly fine. There's plenty of other channels out there that will provide the content you enjoy. But here at In-Game Arts, we play all of our games completely offline with an Remastered account. And if the game requires any internet to work, then it's a bad product. It doesn't matter how good the video game is. It doesn't matter how 10 out of 10 the gameplay is. If that physical copy requires any form of internet to make it work, then it's a bad product. And that's what we do here at In-Game Arts. So like always, thank you so much for sitting down, rambling, talking about this. Again, it's a good physical copy, so pick it up. So like always, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!